I want to talk for a couple of minutes on laziness and the way that human design helps us understand this. So, first, what comes to mind with laziness is the experience of projectors and generator types. Because when we think about generator types and the way they're described and their whole experience and the way they're conditioned, it's that their worth is in what they do. Or if you were a generator, your values and your productivity. And this is true for all of us. But there's a particular kind of this that the generator types experience. And so this can lead to generator types not allowing themselves to rest or sit down and be unproductive. And I think what doesn't get talked about enough is actually the projector experience and the way that projectors actually amplify this conditioning, because there's the undefined sacral in the projector, and the projector aura is pulling this in, and projectors are designed to guide sacral energy. So there's a really interesting dynamic and relationship here between the two types and the conditioning that's experienced. So in projectors, we see this sort of thing amplified, and it comes out in projectors as a laziness shadow, where a projector is very judgmental of others who appear lazy, judgmental of others who are resting, or who are working in an inefficient way, or just not working. And that's because, number one, like I said, the projector is absorbing and, experiencing this own conditioning for themselves. But the shadow part of it is that projectors are not designed to master and sustain and work on and build and create in the way that generator types are with the defined sacral experience. So that means a projector is going to absorb the conditioning and try to work really hard. This is the typical projector experience, to keep up with generator type people and work really hard, overwork, so that they don't appear lazy, so that they don't appear or come across as inefficient or unproductive, unhelpful. The undefined sacral usually absorbs all that conditioning and wants to keep up, and is doing all that it can to prove that it can keep up and to hustle. So this hustle culture is really damaging for both of these types, all of three types technically, if we're talking about, manifesting generators and projectors. So it's really damaging. Hustle culture is damaging to everyone, but this particular dynamic is really interesting, just because the way that we see this amplified in projectors. The shadow piece that the projector experiences when they're judging someone for not working hard is actually because they're bitter about themselves working hard, and they actually want to be lazy, and they have shoved the part of them that's lazy and wants to rest down to this place where it's suppressed and is not, it's just unseen, because it's not okay to be lazy. That's the conditioning that the projector has absorbed in a bigger way. And so projectors can amplify this conditioning. It's in a lot of projectors that we can see this hustle culture and the laziness shadow coming out. And so projectors can be a pretty good indicator of this hustle culture, grind culture, and the conditioning of this. And so that is something that projectors need to reconcile within themselves, to see the side of them that's lazy, that actually wants to rest, that doesn't actually want to be hustling, and then to be kinder to other people, to generator types when generator types are taking breaks, or to generator types when they are not hustling, right? because projectors have usually absorbed this intense conditioning around consistently being productive and using the life force. And this is all just things that we define as lazy, right? But there's also a laziness experience that can come from the undefined root because the pressure of the root center is inconsistent. And so one can judge themselves or judge other people for being lazy if there is not a consistent pulse in the root. And the root works in pulses anyway, so even if you have it defined, there will be pulses, and then there will be quiet times where there's no pressure to do anything. But especially if it's undefined, that pulse is more unreliable, or it's inconsistent and may not show up when you need it. The motor isn't going to work in the way that society says it needs to work. And so you can experience laziness. So this sort of thing is very normal, but the suffering comes in because of the way that our societal conditioning and our mind has judged it. So maybe just look at your own chart, consider your conditioning around laziness and see if there's something else that see if there's another way that you can think about it. Or see if you need to be kinder to other people about when they seem lazy. Because this hustle culture is something that we are really passing along if we don't heal it. And it doesn't really feel good to anyone. And hustle culture is different than hard work. It's different than dedication and commitment. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about hustling, which is really over-sacrificing, over-giving, not resting, neglecting your body, neglecting others, neglecting your emotion. It's very harsh. So that's what we're talking about here, and this laziness or this hustle culture is a deep wound, and really maybe needs some of your attention. So just wanted to bring that thought to you today.